and welcome back to another Coaster Cheetah video, and in this video I'll be going over my top 5 most unreliable roller coasters. So this isn't it's not like I did a ton of research and to actually figure out which statistically are the most unreliable coasters. These are just the top 5 coasters that in my opinion, from what I've seen and heard about, and in general, these seem to be the most unreliable coasters from what I've seen. And yeah, so there are 5 of them. Starting at number 5, we have Hagrid's Magical Creatures Motorbike Adventure, located at Universal's Islands of Adventure. And yeah, this is a pretty obvious one. Hagrid's from the get-go had a ton of issues. One thing is that it had a rushed opening, and that really just made a lot of things worse for it. It also is a very, very, very technically advanced ride. It has, spoiler alert, drop track. It has a ton of launches, the most on any coaster. It has just a lot of elements, such as even a backwards track. There's just a lot of elements and components to it that make it unreliable, and for them all to be working at the same time, it's a lot. So that is why the ride is unreliable. It is pretty reliable now though, except be careful because this has a horrible line. Still nowadays. It's crazy. Now at number 4 we have Wonder Woman Golden Lasso Coaster, located at Six Flags Fiesta, Texas. And this coaster also, like Hagrid's, suffers just a lot of downtime, especially near its opening, but even now, to this day, it has a lot of downtime. It's closed for long periods of time, and yeah, it's going to be a lot of the case with a lot of these coasters where it just suffers a lot of downtime, and I don't really know why that is, honestly, with this coaster. It could be because of the trains, I think I've heard some stuff about, but yeah, this coaster just has a ton of downtime. It's closed often, and don't be surprised if you take the journey to Six Flags Fiesta, Texas, and this coaster is unfortunately closed, because that can happen. And number 3, we have a newer coaster, which is Steel Curtain at Kennywood. Now, Steel Curtain, again, from the beginning, it really suffered a lot of downtime. It was closed for, I'm pretty sure, an entire year straight, just because of all the technical issues. This is a prototype. It's an SNS hypercoaster. It's a cool-looking ride. It's the coaster that has the most inversions of any other in North America. But man, it's very unreliable, and to this day, often it has technical issues. Not as bad as it previously did, but it still does, and a lot of times it does unfortunately have to run with only one train. So yeah, this is a very unreliable coaster for whatever reason. I hope Kennywood figures it out, because this was very expensive. This was above $20 million for this attraction, and it was closed for its first year of operation, which is just not good at all. So for Kennywood and SNS's sake, I really hope that they get this figured out and they can actually make future hypercoasters, because it looks great. But yeah, Steel Curtain at Kennywood is very unreliable. Now at number 2, we have Accelerator at Knott's Berry Farm. And you might be thinking, well, why is Top Thrill Dragster not in here? And actually I'm only including coasters that are open now, because a lot of these super unreliable coasters that are now gone is because they were unreliable, so they got removed. So yeah, that's why there's no defunct coasters on this list. But yeah, Accelerator is on the list at number 2. And Accelerator is an Intamin Accelerator coaster, which is pretty much known to have a lot of downtime and issues because of that hydraulic launch. There's a lot of components with the launch, especially, that really make this an unreliable ride. And this, for whatever reason, is way more unreliable than a lot of the other Accelerator coasters. For whatever reason. And yeah, this coaster has been closed for months now. At the time of me recording, this coaster has been closed for months. I don't know if it's a thing with the launch. I think it's a thing with the launch, but it could be the trains. I don't really know what it is. Yeah, it's just a very unreliable ride. It had a cable snap incident a while back, and it's never been a reliable ride, so not really surprised to see it closed for a long period of time, because it's not uncommon with these independent Accelerator coasters, but it's unfortunate for Knott's Berry Farm, because it is a great ride, and I hope they can figure something out with it instead of removing it altogether. Maybe giving it an LSM like Top Thrill 2 at Cedar Point is getting now. And from the moment you guys have all been waiting for, number 1, the most unreliable roller coaster on this list, is none other than Lightning Rod at Dollywood. And I feel like this was, if I didn't include it on the list, it would be crazy, because Lightning Rod is one of the most infamous and notorious attractions ever for being unreliable in the modern day. Lightning Rod is so unreliable, in fact, that it's actually being converted now. Its launch is being converted from a uphill LSM launch to a chain lift. And while this will make the ride experience a little worse, it will make it far more reliable, we're hoping. Which is definitely good, because Lightning Rod, it has been plagued with a ton of issues over time since its opening in 2016. There's just a long list of issues with this ride it's very unfortunate. And I mean, I could say a few of them. So, from the opening, it just suffered a lot of downtime. It was closed for 2 weeks. The opening was delayed for 2 weeks. It runs with one train often, and the one train that it runs doesn't even have the the front car on the front of it. So obviously that's an issue. It doesn't look great. And yeah, it's often closed for long periods of time when it is open. Obviously the one train causes it to have an extremely long line. So yeah, honestly, I feel like the sacrifice of getting rid of the launch and replacing it with the lift is worth it. To make the ride more reliable, because man, it's just unfortunate. I'm so lucky that I got to actually ride a Lightning Rod twice when I went to Dollywood. Yeah, I'm very fortunate for that. And it's unfortunate if you didn't get to ride it with the launch, because it's certainly spectacular, but hopefully now if you go to Dollywood, it'll actually have a very high chance of being open. So yeah, that's pretty much all I have to say about this list. If you guys did enjoy, please like and subscribe, and if you agreed or disagreed with this list, please comment it down below. And if you guys did enjoy, then I hope to catch you in the next video. Goodbye.